this video I'm gonna do some ASMR mouth sounds, hand sounds, and a story time of how I accidentally basically deleted iOS from my iPod Touch. Okay, so this whole thing started with iOS 9. I bought my iPod Touch on iOS 9 and I updated it all the way to iOS 9.5, and then I didn't update to iOS 10 because I didn't like the way they split up the control center and a bunch of other things like that. So I didn't update. And then when iOS 11 came out, it looked pretty cool, but I thought, it'll probably slow down my iPod too much. So I didn't update to that either. But then when iOS 12 came out, I was like, man, that looks pretty cool. So I wanted to update because they made a lot of performance improvements and it's supposed to help older devices, which it does. I'll get to that in a second here. So yeah, I thought, man, that looks pretty cool. But at that time, at the time of its release, I was running this YouTube channel completely off of my iPod Touch. Off of my iPod Touch. So, like this whole microphone setup, it's through my iPod Touch. Not now, but it was. So I was like, man, if this iPod goes down and loses its data or something, the YouTube channel goes down. So I don't really want to risk that, fixing something that isn't broken. So I was like, okay, I won't update yet. I'll get my iPad Pro and then I'll update it, so at least I have a backup. So October comes, the iPad Pro comes out. I buy the best one they make, except for cellular. Don't want to brag, but it's 1 terabyte. I really like that iPad. Anyway, so yeah, that's working great. And I'm like, okay, let's update my iPod Touch a few months later because at that point, like, I don't use my iPod Touch for anything, so kind of forget about it. But just a few weeks ago, I was like, let's update my iPod Touch to kind of get it up to speed because at this point it's really, really laggy, drops frames all the time, and since it's still on iOS 9.5, I was like, okay, let's update this thing because I can't run any apps and it's lagging like crazy. So I try to update it, but I get this message that says I cannot update because it's been too many iOS versions to update at this point. So I was like, alright, how do I update? And it says you can do it through iTunes. So I go to my parents' computer, plug the iPod in, go to iTunes, and then I try to update. And then I download it, everything works normal. But then during the update process, I get an error message, and this isn't good. This is when I accidentally delete iOS, essentially. So, yeah, I got an error message, and it says that basically I need to update to macOS Mojave or something else, or update iTunes, and that's the only way to update it. But the iPod has been basically erased iOS itself because it's trying to download iOS 12, so it's like this weird in-between phase, and it just won't do anything. It won't turn on, it won't, I mean, it'll turn on, there's power and everything, but there's no interface or anything. It just shows the Apple logo for a second, and then it goes straight into like plug-in iTunes on the screen. It just shows that like you gotta update this for it to work. So I have to wait for my parents to update their computer to macOS Mojave, which takes like a month because everything's a little bit slow. But yeah, it takes like a month to do that. And then we're finally on macOS Mojave. So I'm thinking, great, now I can update my iPod Touch and get everything back to normal. at this point, like the community tab, as I said in another video, you probably didn't watch it, but the iPads don't support the community tab, which you can use like polls and like text and things. It's kind of like Twitter, but on YouTube. So, yeah, I can't do any of that because it's not supported on iPads, and I don't have a setup with a phone or a computer because the iPod's down and stuff. And that was my only way to access it, even though they're both iOS. I don't know how that works, but it does. So yeah, I can't do any community tab stuff for like a month. So I'm really excited to update my iPod to macOS Mojave, or because of macOS Mojave, I can update it to iOS 12. But unfortunately, the iTunes thing is really weird, and you get like, if you try to update it, it's like a 2.5 gigabyte update, which is, it's fine. It takes like 20 minutes to download here because our internet's pretty slow. I know some of you guys out there have it like really bad. So I consider myself fortunate to have even this level because internet sucks everywhere. But yeah, so it takes like 20 minutes to download, not too bad. But the problem was, every time I try to download it, it just like once it gets to a certain point, I get an error message saying like the internet connection is down, like for a split second, and then it comes right back online, but it forgets all of the data it already downloaded. So since this is a 20-minute process, you gotta wait another 20 minutes for it to download all that data. And then it happened again and again and again. This seriously happened for hours, plural. So that really sucked. But finally, I downloaded it, and then I get a message saying, basically it's like corrupted, or I don't know, they didn't use the word corrupted, but basically I gotta reset it as if it's been wiped clean of all data, which basically it has been since it got stuck in that weird time of not really having an operating system at all in between updates. I call it an update coma, and that's like the unofficial term for it. But yeah, so it's like stuck in this weird void of no operating system. And the only way to get it out is like to wipe it clean of all data. So I'm like, oh crap. So I do that, and I don't bother backing it up because it's like, most of it's on my iPad at this point. So nothing important is on there. Nothing related to the YouTube channel or anything. So then I'm just like, alright, we can delete the data from it and try to reinstall iOS. So I had to lose all the data that was on there. So like, there was nothing sensitive, like there were no pictures or anything like that on it, because like I said, I moved all that to my iPad. But it still sucks because you have to set everything up again, and it was like getting a new iPod basically, except there's no backup because I didn't want to back it up. Like it would take just as long to redo that. So yeah, that kind of sucks. It took forever. Basically I had to sign in all my YouTube accounts and Spotify and Netflix and all that crap. So yeah, that sucked. And that is the story of how I basically deleted iOS. Or like I say, I put it in a update coma between updates. So if you're out there, do not try updating your devices through iTunes. If I know this is a super niche situation, like probably 2 people ever have had this problem. Yeah, don't try updating your super old devices to a new operating system through iTunes if you don't have your computer also on the latest version before you update. It's such a weird scenario that like never happens. So I thought that was interesting enough to have like a little story time whispering. I guess we didn't really do any mouth sounds in this video. Well, we're getting to that. I didn't think the story time would last this long, but yeah, it was a long story. So now everything is fixed. I'm signed in. All my data is back. Life is good. Oh, back to the iOS. iOS 12 is amazing, okay, guys? I thought the other operating systems would slow my iPod down, which I didn't try, so I still don't know. But I know iOS 12, if you're hesitant to update your old devices, don't be, okay? It's better in every single way. It used to be so laggy, like you couldn't do much of anything on iOS 9. iOS 9 was one of the not so good performance-wise operating system, update years, whatever. So yeah, if you're hesitant to update to iOS 12, don't be. It's great. Yeah, so do that. It's really good. And it's like having a new iPod again. So I'm pretty happy about that, even though I don't use it a lot. It's actually nice for ASMR, believe it or not, because the iPad, I have a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, so it's like that big. It's the 2018 version, so like it doesn't have as big of bezels as the older ones, so that's nice. But yeah, it's still nice to have a little 4-inch iPod Touch 6. It's not the new ones. But yeah, A8 processor is pretty slow, but on this new operating system, it's really great actually. So yeah, that's my little story time. Now that we are like 20 minutes into this, let's get into the mouth sounds and trigger words and that kind of stuff. Actually, inaudible whispering kind of mouth sounds is what I want to do today. This is my least put together video I've ever made, I think. Literally just came here and I was like, I gotta record a video. Let's tell them about how I spent a month trying to get my iPod back up. That's a great story time. Tell me in the comments if you want to see another story time video, because like I've never really done one of these, and I know you guys like hearing whispering, but as I've said in other videos, nobody watches the whispering videos. I mean, they get pretty good views, but they're not like mouth sounds or 100 triggers in 1 minute or anything like that. They're kind of like medium-low view videos, but everybody always wants one. It's a mystery of life. It's a mystery of life. So yeah, tell me if you want to see more of these, and make sure you like this video. So hopefully, I do videos based on how much you guys like them and how many views it gets. Like I try to find a good mix of both, and I think this will be good. Like I try to do a good mix, and so if we can get a video with both, sorry my hair's a little messed up, if we can get a video with both a lot of views and you guys really like it, that would be wonderful. So if you guys really like this, make sure you like the video. We're not at the end of the video yet, we're getting there, but yeah, make sure you like the video. Comment anything, comment how you liked it, other ideas, I don't care what it is, just comment something for the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, and enjoy. I'll get another inaudible whispering video up sometime soon, because that was kind of supposed to be what this video was, but it turned into a story time video slash ramble video, but I think it's still good though. So anyway. If you hear an annoying little like sound, it's my lens. It's kind of more high pitched than that. That's why a lot of my videos don't change focus, or if they do, like, I have to edit it out, and it's really hard to do that with words. So if you're like that sound, that's the autofocus motor. So, sorry about that. I tried putting a high-pass filter on it. It won't work because it's about the frequency of, like, in the realm of most of the sounds we pay attention to, so I couldn't cut it out without cutting out most of the sounds in the video. If you don't know, a high-pass filter cuts off all the noises below a certain level and lets the high noises pass. You can get low pass filters too, but yeah, that's what that does. Let me lock the focus, there we go. Tell me if you guys like this, locked on the fingers. I could do my hand movement videos like this if you want. Creepy right now. Oh my, that's creepy. Let's undo that. What the heck? Okay. I'm shooting with a 20mm or 24mm f2.8 STM lens. It kind of has weird bokeh sometimes. I like it though, but yeah, sometimes you get weird things like that. Creepy face. It's weird. I love this lens. It's my favorite lens though.